This video is brought to you by the Brown Lab at Virginia Tech. Hey everyone, in this video we're going to go over some helpful tips and things to keep in mind when making movies in ChimeraX. This tutorial is going to be a follow-up to the last video, so if you haven't watched it yet, there's a link in the description. Let's say you went through all the trouble of typing out your movie commands one by one and realized that you want to change one little piece. It would be very time consuming to retype 10, 15, 20 commands each time you wanted to adjust something. Luckily, like we mentioned in the last video, you can use semicolons to run all the movement commands in one line. Let's use the session file that we saved in the last video with all of our views already set. If you remember from the last tutorial, our last view was turned 180 degrees from the original orientation. Just type view P1 to get back to our first view. As always, we need to start with the movie record command to let ChimeraX know that we want to start recording. Now, if we simply try to string all of our commands together with semicolons, our video is not going to turn out the same as if you typed each command in one by one. ChimeraX will read all of the commands in order, but will try to execute them simultaneously. This is where the wait command comes in handy. The wait command tells ChimeraX to stop for a specified number of frames or until the previous command finishes. An important thing to note about this command is that it will automatically wait the needed number of frames, but only for certain multi-frame or movement commands. When adding the wait command after move, turn, rock, roll, zoom, or fly commands, you don't need to specify the number of frames. The hide command by itself is not a multi-frame command, but we combined it with the crossfade command, so now it happens over 30 frames. So we need to adjust our wait time by 30 frames to match this. I have put a list of the original movement commands in the description so you don't have to retype everything again. Let's run this single line command. Running everything in one line will most likely cause ChimeraX to freeze up for a little bit, but don't worry, everything is still being recorded. It may take your computer a few minutes, so I'm going to fast forward. As always, make sure you save your movie with the movie encode command. Let's take a look at the original video and this one side by side. As you can see, they look the same, and we'll speed them up to save time. Let's look at a few more options that can improve the quality of your videos. I reinitialized the session file, so I need to return to the original view and start recording again. By default, movies are encoded at 25 frames per second at a standard good quality. Depending on the amount of movement in your videos, this can look a little bit choppy. Let's try doubling the FPS to 50 and encoding at the highest quality. Just telling ChimeraX that we want to encode at 50 frames per second doesn't magically make more frames appear. If we tried this, our video would just be half as long. We need to double the number of frames that we record so our video stays the same length. Adjusting the fly commands are straightforward. Remember that they occur over 100 frames by default, so we can specify that we want 200 frames instead. We also need to double the 60 frame flies to 120. Crossfade is doubled to 60, and make sure you change the wait time to 60 as well. The second argument of the roll command is the degrees per frame, and the third argument is the number of frames. We can halve the degrees per frame and double the number of frames to maintain a full 360-degree rotation. Let's run our new adjusted single line command. Again, this is going to take a few minutes, so I'm going to fast forward. Once that finishes, we can encode our movie. After specifying the file location and name, we can specify that we want the highest quality at 50 frames per second. Let's take a look at this in the original video side by side. You should be able to tell that the new video looks better and is smoother than the original. That's all for this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and check out our other ChimeraX tutorials. Thanks for watching.